Florida is still the most moved-to state in America, but the national average for violent crime is 370 per 100,000 residents, and every single city on this list blows past that number. One of them is the state capital. The one at number 1 is among the 3 most dangerous cities in the entire United States. In the 10th place, Tallahassee stands out as a cautionary tale for anyone drawn in by the promise of a vibrant college town. The city's violent crime rate reached 582 per 100,000 residents in 2025, over 50% higher than the national average and well above the state's own elevated benchmark. Property crime remains a persistent threat with 2,850 incidents per 100,000, but the challenges extend beyond safety. Average homeowner insurance now sits at $8,600 per year, a figure 30% above the national mean. Meanwhile, 8% of local mortgages are underwater, signaling deep financial risk for new buyers. Even in Florida's capital, the numbers reveal a level of exposure that far exceeds the state's sun-soaked reputation. Number 9. Riviera Beach lures with oceanfront views and a lively nightlife, but the risks beneath the surface are anything but hidden. Violent crime here reaches 650 incidents per 100,000, over 50% above Florida's own high average. Property crime is even more pervasive with 3,120 cases per 100,000 residents. Yet the real shock comes from the financial side. Annual homeowner insurance now averages $11,200, a figure that dwarfs the state mean and cracks the $10,000 mark for the first time in this countdown. 93% of homes sit in federally designated flood zones, leaving nearly every property exposed to disaster-driven premium hikes. In Riviera Beach, the cost of living by the water is measured in both personal safety and relentless insurance bills. 8th place, Homestead sits at the crossroads of hurricane risk and financial strain, where the promise of affordable living gives way to a harsh reality. Violent crime reaches 560 incidents per 100,000, well above the national average, and property crime adds another 2,970 cases per 100,000 residents. But the most punishing blow comes from the insurance market. Homeowners now face an average annual premium of $13,400, the highest in this countdown so far. Nearly 9 out of 10 properties lie within a federally designated 100-year flood zone, exposing residents to relentless premium hikes and the constant threat of storm damage. In Homestead, the sun-soaked image of suburban Florida is overshadowed by a combination of physical and financial danger that few buyers anticipate until it's too late. Number 7. Pahokee stands as a stark reminder that danger in Florida isn't confined to big cities or storm-battered coasts. Here, the roots run deeper, straight into the soil of poverty and economic distress. The median household income hovers at just $31,000, with nearly 1 in 3 residents living below the poverty line. That hardship is reflected in the numbers. Violent crime has surged to 740 incidents per 100,000 people, more than double the national average. Property crime is even more pervasive, with a rate of 3,450 per 100,000. But the financial burden doesn't end with crime. Homeowner insurance premiums now average around $9,800 a year, consuming a staggering share of household budgets. In Pahokee, the promise of small-town life is overshadowed by a daily reality where economic stress and personal safety risks are inseparable. Number 6. Pompano Beach wears the mask of a thriving coastal haven, but the numbers tell a different story for anyone considering a move. Violent crime stands at 560 incidents per 100,000 residents, over 30% above the national average. Property crime is even more entrenched, with 2,880 cases per 100,000, reflecting a persistent threat to everyday life. Yet the most jarring blow comes from the insurance market. The average homeowner now pays $12,600 per year, a figure driven sharply upward by windstorm premiums that spiked after the 2025 hurricane season. That's not just a budget strain, it's a warning sign, especially as home prices in Pompano Beach have already slipped by 4% in the past year. The illusion of affluence here is thin protection against a financial reality that keeps getting tougher, as both crime and cost steadily erode the city's appeal. Number 5, Daytona Beach draws millions with its boardwalks and speedway, but the reality for residents is far less inviting. Violent crime here has surged to 760 incidents per 100,000 people, nearly double the national average and above Florida's already elevated baseline. Property crime is relentless, with 3,200 offenses per 100,000, making daily life feel anything but secure. The city's exposure to natural disasters is another layer of risk. 71% of homes sit in federally designated storm surge zones, driving homeowner insurance premiums to an average of $10,900 a year. Even as insurance costs climb, home prices have slipped by 5% over the past year, signaling growing instability. In Daytona Beach, the tourist gloss fades quickly, leaving behind a landscape where safety and financial security are both in short supply. Number 4, Jacksonville amplifies every risk that comes with moving to Florida's largest city. The homicide count alone tells the story: 162 murders in 2022, making it the deadliest metro on this list by sheer volume. The violent crime rate stands at 614 per 100,000 residents, nearly 50% higher than the national average, and a clear sign that safety is far from guaranteed. But the dangers aren't limited to the streets. Jacksonville's housing market has suffered the steepest collapse among major Florida cities, with home prices falling 7% in the past year, according to CoreLogic. Homeowner insurance premiums now average $9,300, a figure that continues to climb as insurers pull back from high-risk zip codes. In Jacksonville, the scale of the city means that every hazard, including crime, financial loss, and insurance instability, hits with greater force, leaving newcomers exposed on all fronts. String Number 2, Miami Gardens reveals a new kind of warning sign for anyone thinking about relocating. Over the past year, the city has witnessed a population drop of 3.5%, the steepest loss among major Florida metros. This outflow isn't just a blip, it's a signal that residents are voting with their feet, often driven out by costs that have spiraled beyond reach. The average homeowner insurance premium now stands at $12,800 per year, a figure that eclipses even other high-risk Florida cities and sits nearly double the national average. While violent crime has edged downward to 495 incidents per 100,000, and property crime now registers at 2,720 per 100,000, these improvements haven't been enough to stem the exodus. For many, the financial burden is simply unsustainable. Miami Gardens stands as proof that even as crime rates moderate, crushing insurance bills and demographic collapse can undermine any sense of security, setting the stage for even more severe cases ahead. And finally, in first place, Opa-locka stands as the most severe warning on this entire list, a city where every danger metric breaks national records. The violent crime rate hit 1,210 incidents per 100,000 residents in 2025, more than 3 times the Florida average and among the top 3 highest in the United States. Property crime is even more punishing, with 4,560 offenses per 100,000, making everyday safety a constant concern. But the risks go far beyond crime. Homeowner insurance premiums have surged to an average of $14,200 per year, the highest in Florida, and nearly double the state mean. Over the past year, home prices have plunged 9%, erasing equity and fueling a foreclosure rate that now sits at a staggering 12%, meaning more than 1 in 10 mortgaged homes faces legal action. For anyone considering a move, Opa-locka is not just another troubled city, it is the epicenter of Florida's crisis, where personal safety, financial stability, and basic livability are all under threat. Across all 10 cities, one fact stands out. Florida's paradise image often hides some of the nation's highest crime rates and deepest financial risk. Data proves the real threat isn't sun or sand, it's ignoring the numbers. In relocation, evidence matters more than marketing. Stay sharp.